Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Blank Canvas Show. I go by Kash Flow for some of you that may know me from the music and production side. Man, I can't wait to get started on this episode, man. It's been a little bit of a minute, maybe a week, took a week off, but we're going to get a little bit more consistent. I know I keep saying that and didn't reneging, but you know, it is what it is. Life be life, and y'all bear with me. We going to get back on track with the Blank Canvas Show and get to the consistency that y'all used to for several years in the past, man. But it's a lot of things to discuss today, you know what I mean? On an independent grind, on just music tip and how you should move and things of that nature, some relevant topics. So, you know, we're going to keep it like that. One more last plug so we can get the administrative things out the way. You see the Blank Canvas shirt right now for the people out there in YouTube land. If you're listening, go to blankcanvasmusic.com. If you want to buy some merch, we got hoodies. We got all different types of flavors. If you want a new colorway, you can suggest one. Hit me in the DM at _BK show and we will get it done. Not we, I will get it done because I'm doing it all. So I will get you what you need if you want to support the merch. And definitely when you buy the merch, take a picture of it. Show it off, man. Let me see it, man. And I'll post it, repost you, and I surely appreciate it. Got a new project out too right now, you know, called Process Over Perfection. It's a really dope EP, quick listen, 12 minutes, in and out, OG classic. Y'all go listen to that as well. But enough of all that. You know what I mean? I got a esteemed guest. He's a regular here on the show. He just want to come and just talk, and we gonna chop it up. This is the homie, man, Furious Stylez. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on with you, man? Appreciate you for having me, man. I'm glad to be back.
Hey, man, it's always good to have somebody on here, man. I be trying to, you know, do my Stephen A. Smith and my Colin Cowherd thing on here, but man, it just ain't the same, you know. It's always weird talking to yourself.
Yeah, it's all good. I appreciate it, man. Hip hop is my life, man, so I'm ready to talk about it.
For sure, man. But before we begin, man, I just want people to kind of that don't know who you are or don't watch the show every time, man. Kind of who's Furious Stylez, what you do, man, in the music space, and I'll let you take it away.
For sure, my name's Furious Stylez. Been living in Memphis since 2015. I'm from East Chicago. Grew up in Gary, Indiana as well. Every other weekend, straight from the Midwest, man. You know, being from the Midwest, you know, we hear a lot of different music, so I kind of put it all together. But you know, I grew up I might listen to Crucial Conflict one day. You might listen to Wu-Tang the next. So, you know, all that was put in because, you know, we didn't have superstars growing up. So, you know, Kanye West went around and Common was like an East Coast sound. So we kind of heard everything. So, you know, I put all that together, man, and I developed my own sound.
Dope, man. And developing his own sound is an understatement, man. If you guys are not tapped into the hip-hop Twitter or hip-hop X, I don't know what we call it nowadays. If you're not tapped into that scene, the man has put out, 16 EPs with various artists with the basement?
I have 13 basements, man.
13 basements coming.
March 1st, 2022.
Yeah, and what these are, ladies and gentlemen, are 3-song EPs with various artists that he's out there he believes in them, they believe in him, vice versa, and they go for 3 songs. It's just really short and sweet, and from there, man, he's built a hell of a catalog along the way with some albums to go with that. So he's very active out there. So aspiring rappers or indie rappers, man, if y'all want to tap into Furious Stylez, man, how can they reach out to you?
Man, I have a Facebook. I've had that since I was in college, but you know, but of course, Instagram, I have a TikTok. Don't really be on there, but I have one. Instagram, Furious_Stylez with a Z, 6, the number 6 at the end, and Twitter is the same thing, Furious_Stylez 6. I'm always on Twitter the most, and I'm also on Instagram as well. You know, I'm not hard to find. You can find these other guys with the name, but I'm the one that's doing the beats. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do.
All right, so y'all go check it out, man. It's very easy to find. If you were to point somebody in the direction of a basement series and or project of yours that you want them to follow so they can kind of get an idea of your production style, what would that be?
Well, I'm gonna start off. Well, the man I'm speaking to, he has one. Cash Flow has a basement EP. They actually dropped right after one of his albums. Yeah. So basically, like it's you just put in the basement, and then you could put. And you'll probably see it that way, but I have the basement because it's not really about me. My name is real small on every one. I always focus on the artist. It'll say the basement Cash Flow. You just put that in and you'll see it. big orange letters, because it's not about Furious Stylez. I'm excited to work with whoever I'm working with at the time. So I make sure that their name is bigger than mine. I just did the production, I put it together, but it's all about whoever I'm working with.
All right. So that's how y'all can find them. I ain't want to do more self-promotion, but I appreciate you, good brother. I appreciate you. Sure. A lot of what we talk about outside of, on the podcast and just in our various conversations is just like showing up and doing the work. The work ethic. We're a lot older. We not with a lot of the theatrics that comes with being independent in the music. We all have our own careers and stuff like that we do outside of music that we all successful in, and music is something that we're passionate about. But we also want to be heard. Like that's the dynamic. So I saw something earlier this week, late last week rather, and I was like, yo, this is a good conversation to have with somebody, and I definitely want somebody to pull up that has, varied beliefs in this. And I think we've talked about this type subject a lot. So LaRussell, he tweets out a lot of things every now and then. Very, very motivational young cat that I could learn from in terms of like his grind, his hustle and shit like that. So there's a lot of positive qualities that I think LaRussell displays. But one was interesting here that he said, and I want to know your thoughts, and we can kind of chop it up about that. So his recent tweet says, too much focus on data and analytics. Instead of feeling, I love making music. I couldn't only drop 12 songs a year if I tried. That shit is illogical to me. Fuck the numbers. All the dope niggas sitting back, planning rollouts, drop the music. Great music and content is a rollout. So that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. A lot of people, I looked at the comments on Twitter, Instagram. A lot of people was in support of it, but some people, there was a lot of pushback too in regards to kind of what he was saying in regards to just put a bunch of shit out. So what are your initial thoughts on that conversation and that type of advice to mainly, independent artists or just artists that are kind of stagnant in their music journey?
I 100% agree with him, because this isn't the CD era anymore. You can't drop an album once a year and things like that. I remember like in 1998, it was a phenomenon when DMX dropped 2 albums. But now, what I'm saying, that's like the norm. You got to drop maybe 2 to 3 because, this is the microwave era. The attention span is very short now. So you got to keep, keep your name out there. That's why, like we was discussing, I have The Basement because I started that just because of the same situation. After Noise in the Hood 1, I was thinking about starting Noise in the Hood 2, but things weren't working. Like you said, life be life, and the guys I thought I could reach out to, they had things going on, and they had stuff going on personally. So I'm like, man, I got to come up with something, man. I was like, what can I do? So I was like, I come from, like I said, from East Chicago. I would always go to the record store. It's called the Bomb Records. I don't even know if it's still around. Hopefully it is. But I was bought Midwest compilations, and it's called Midwest Mobsters, or AKA straight up gangster shit. Everybody in East Chicago and stuff like that knew about it, and it was all the local hip hop celebrities. So I'm like, what can I do to keep my name out there? And of course, I grew up with listening to Gangsta Grills, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come out with my own Gangsta Grills. I'm gonna find a guy. I was like, and I'm not cocky. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm gonna find a guy who basically like is in between albums, who got some time, and I'm just gonna put it out there and see. And I'm just gonna do 3 songs just to test the waters. And it did pretty well. Then I did another one. I did another one. 2 years later, I'm on my 13th one.
Facts. And that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because you just gotta find a way, right? And I think that's the key part of it, you know what I mean? But a lot of the comments that I read, and one of the things, and I'll say my immediate reaction was like, I get it. I love the motivation, but however, fam, you have a team. Like his quality is pristine as far as what he's doing, and a whole lot of things. Like his whole family's working for him. I don't know if a lot of independent artists have that afforded to them. You know what I mean? As far as that belief system, like a lot of people believe in what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like his girl Tessa. You know what I mean? Like how they connected and how she really has the social media strategy. Like even in, like I said, I've learned from him too as well. Like in terms of just taking one day, sit down, do a bunch of content. That way I could post it because, I don't have a huge following. You know what I mean? So I get how that has to move, because when you don't have a footprint in the game, like, you got to kind of, your shit has to stand out or at least be quality. You know what I mean? So you may not be able to put a bunch of music out. That's what I thought. That was my first thought. The second part was, damn, like, I don't want a lot of Rush music, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that be my thing. Like, I don't really want a lot of Rush music, and not to really hate on Rush, but like, my knock on him, and I was telling my boys, is like, yo, fam, I don't, besides this Hit Boy shit right now, like, and I listen to LaRussell. I don't have a song or album that I really resonate, or EP that I resonate with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's Kendrick got Good Kid, Mad City. 50 Cent got Get Rich or Die Trying. Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Nas. Like, there's albums that you can go to that you remember, and there's something to be said for curating a rollout. Schoolboy Q right now doing a hell of a job with a rollout. J. Cole just started his rollout. Like, everybody doesn't have to feed the beast, the content, the content beast. So that's kind of was my pushback with it, was like, man, I get it, but I don't at the same time. 'Cause I really don't like to put out music until it's ready. Because I don't believe in this shit when it's not ready, and we could hear that too. That's
for sure. Oh yeah, and one thing, like, not to cut you off, which also what kind of helps me out with the basement, because I actually have my own compilations and things like that, and working with other artists. I've worked on other albums. See, but with the basement, being that it's a different person every time, it's not like I'm constantly doing the same thing over and over.
Right.
I got one, you know what I'm saying? You Brooklyn. I got a guy from Memphis. I got somebody from North Carolina. I got somebody from New Jersey. So that's also showing my versatility, because I'm able to work with somebody from over here. I got one with my guys from Chicago. I got one with a group from Cleveland. Well, yeah, they're actually from Cincinnati. I'm sorry. So I got people from the Midwest, the South. So I kind of showing what I can do, because it's not just me just working with the same person every time. Every basement, all 13 has been 10 solos in 3 groups.
In a lot of these, go ahead, finish.
No, I'm just saying. So I'm just showing that I'm showing what they can do. I'm also showing what I can do as well, because it's actually getting me to test my pen, quote unquote. Because I'm not just working with a guy that does boom bap. I'm working with guys that rap fast. I'm working with guys that got the southern twang. So it's showing people that I know. That's why I call myself Furious Stylez. I feel like I got different styles.
Right. And I was gonna say, you just came out with one that's different, on the 13th, you know what I'm saying, than the one that you put, the last one you put out, totally different artists. And then the other thing, that you do that's a good thing as far as a challenge is, there's so many different artists, like you said, is like, and then they don't all have a huge following. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. It's dope. I've definitely got some bigger names, of course. Like you blessed me with one. Numbs. 2 Jeeves, Hype. I got some people that got some bigger names, but then I'm like, you know what? This is the thing where I could, if I just want to keep some work out there, if I think you dope, and if the person's in between albums or something like that, if they got an album coming up, ain't nothing to do 3 songs,
right?
So that's that, like you said, that's the rollout to what they got coming up.
Right. And that's a daunting task too, really, like making an album. People act like that shit is easy to make, to control a person's interest for 30 to 35 minutes. It's difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's really difficult.
And because of, like, I guess, the reputation that I've built, everybody always asks when we start doing the basement, they're like, man, so Furious, like, what approach you want? What you want me to do? Is it where I'm like, look, man, I reached out to you because I like what you do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna supply the sound. You do what you do. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to change nothing. I don't, now, if they, when we working on a project, if they ask for my direction on something, I might give something. But with the basement, no holds barred, man. It ain't, you want to, at first it was just straight bars. Now people starting to turn them into songs now. Like, you listen to the basements now, a lot of people starting to add hooks to it. It wasn't like that at first.
No, they trying to show out. Yeah, they trying to show out.
People, they've become it's become a thing, and I'm proud of that and happy. But the basement was it went from being just people rapping. I'm like, just rap. Now people turn them into songs and things like that, so it's starting to evolve. So I'm like, hey man, that's dope. Do your thing. I'm not going to deny nothing. I'm like, what? You want to do what? Let's do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it went from just you spitting bars to people actually like adding a bridge and it's turning into something.
It's crazy, yeah. Because I mean, I think that's kind of the thing. Like, because I know when I did a basement series, I was just kind of like I was already in album mode, so I was already in song mode.
Yeah.
So
you had songs.
Yeah, I already had songs I was making. I think the only song that's not a song is the intro. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm talking shit. But that's for the effect of just putting the shit out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but going back to the analytics part of things like that, like, is that a focus of yours? Is that something that you're conscious of? But do you lead with that? Like,
I don't lead with it. I lead with it in a different way, as far as like just building that genuine rapport with people outside of music. Some people just pop up when they got something coming up and things like that. Nah, man. I'm talking to the people that support. I don't call them fans, my supporters. I talk to them on a regular. We like crack jokes. Somebody cracked a joke on me earlier today. You know what I'm saying? So, and I reply back and things like that. That's how I build up my analytics, by just talking to people on a regular. Because to me, I feel like when you just pop up when you got something to sell or something coming out, to me, it's not genuine. I'm around all year round. So when I do have something coming up, they're like, oh, Fear's got something coming. He's cool because I'm around all the time. You know what I'm saying?
But the artists are weird creatures, man. Like some motherfuckers don't even like, they're that talented, but they don't like the social media aspect. Because we always joke about the beat makers that be just, like really doing a lot of theatrics in the videos. The piano, the air piano guys.
Yeah. I'm not selling my beat with my face. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing all that. I mean, no disrespect to them. That's
it works sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Where I come from, I'm not doing that, because I'm not a content guy. You know what I'm saying? I do my thing. I'm definitely very social, but I'm not about to sit there and do all this. And I'm like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sell it to you, but
I gotta get you to do it one time, at least one time. Like, I know I gotta get the true emotion of how you look when you do have a banger.
No, I make sure
you are not that cool when you have a banger. I'm pretty sure you look like that, man.
No, I know, because my thing is like for instance, with your basement, that you know what I'm saying, lost a step.
That's a heater. I knew you knew that.
But I'm saying my goal is, I want to make the artist off time. I want to make you make that face, and then the people once you make into a song, I want them to make the face. I'm not gonna make it. I want you, when the rapper first hears, the MC first hears, I want you to be like, I want you to have the stank face, like, that's what I know I did. I'm not gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, for what? I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm known for making like anthems and stuff, like, because I love those type of beats, anthems and like the hardcore boom bap and the, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do. So I've made like 3 or 4 with you.
Yeah.
Like the anthem type beat, that's my thing, man. We got Set the Tone, Lost a Step, we got quite a few little anthems, but that's the type of music I've always liked. I was a Rough Rider fan and things like that, So, and Busta Rhymes and stuff like that. So those type of beats resonate with me, because I know what caught my attention, what get me coming from the Midwest. I grew up on a lot of gangster music, so infusing that gangster sound with the soul samples and the boom bap, that's where I come with the aggressive and the hard knocking the drums and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was thinking, kind of staying with the analytics, like, yo, I'm full admission, like I'm aware. I'm hyper aware of the analytics. Yeah. Like you have to be, because if you have a podcast, how do you sell your podcast to other people? How do you get ads and sponsors? It's not until you get a certain amount of follows, certain amount of listens, certain amount of all of that. I mean, I can get into the nuance of it all, but like the numbers matter. You know what I'm saying? When you're running a podcast and subscribers and shit like that. So that matters. So you have to be conscious of it. You can't ignore it.
I definitely watch it. Like, I watch my monthly listeners and things like that in my streams. But when it comes to me, even like if you worked in retail, people are if you're a used car salesman, they're buying into you. You know what I'm saying? I'm selling me. So like I said before the beat comes, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna, even when I'm out, you know what I'm saying? People meet me, they're like, oh, they see me wearing the chains or whatever. Hi, I'm Furious Stylez and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm selling me first. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a producer. I make beats. Or if they discover me on Twitter or something like that, they see people talking to me first. They people like, oh, who is this dude that people are talking to, or they shouting out or whatever. Then they can see. I might put up a how I made beat video, or I might post up something that I produced or something like that. But I'm selling me. You know what I'm saying? I'm presenting myself first. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to know Furious Stylez, then I'm like, oh yeah. Also, oh, if you didn't know, I can do this, and I'm hitting you with the pads and the keys. I'm like, oh, I can do this too. So I'm always thinking like, I went to school. Like I said, I'm a communications major and things like that, and I've always been a social person. So I'm always thinking about selling me first. You know what I'm saying? Like even like being a producer, most producers usually, you may see them now. Producer usually in the background.
No, now they your whole business entity at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Me, I've never covered my face on my profile picture. It's never been a logo. I don't have a logo. I've never put an album cover. I'm always showing me because they're like, who made that beat? That dude right there. Me. You gonna always know it's me, even with this, my name. You know what I'm saying? I'm always product placement. You're gonna always know. You're gonna see. You're gonna correlate these two together. I've always wanted you to know who I am.
Yeah, and speaking of that, staying right there, because I said it before we came on or whatever, like, you one of the few people that actually wears their shit on the podcast or when they going, and I always found that odd for people that have merch and have all these things to come on with whatever they come on with and not their merch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should always be rocking your shit as far as the product placement and it sells itself when you do that. You know what I mean?
It's in-house too. My wife has a heat press. She makes everything I got. My wife made. You know what I'm saying? She made this, and I got probably like 4 or 5 hoodies. A shirt that you got, you know what I'm saying? My wife made that. It's in-house, man. We do it all up in here. This room right here, I got this side, she on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Putting it together.
Yep. Similar to the topic that this is all about. You know what I mean? So I think you could find a way, and that's kind of what to kind of wrap up this topic. That's kind of what I came to. Find a way to be LaRussell like. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do it all. Like, for me, I kind of, when I dropped this EP, and this is for anybody that wants this game or just kind of needs a little bit of motivation, I said, I would not do what I did with my album. When I dropped my album in the summertime, which I feel that is really dope, I'm going back to that. Like, I'm going back to I'm revisiting everything, and I'm making a piece of content to most of those songs. Like, when I wake up one day and I'm like, oh, I'm listening to some of my old shit, and if I have a video on my mind or an angle or something I want to shoot, because I feel like people don't know who the fuck I am, you know what I'm saying, or don't know I'm as good as I am, and that's me tooting my own horn. But sometimes people need to see it visually, and if you put out an album and never promote it after a month out, like my shit just been out a month. If you got to keep going. Like, I don't care if you do a lyric video to the same song in different outfits 20 times if you have to. You know what I mean?
I do the exact same thing. Like, of course I don't rap, but like saying because I'm with you. If when it's a song that's popping from whoever I just put something out with, I make the How I Made video. And I'm like, this is how I made that beat, because if that song is seeming to get some traction, I'm gonna show you how I did it, so that it'll keep that flame going. And then it show you that, it's not a fluke. I can really do this. I'm showing you how I broke it down and what I heard. I played the actual song, then I'm showing you how I chopped it up, whatever. So yeah, same thing. If I see something popping, I'm gonna show you a visual of what I can do.
Yeah, and it don't always have to be anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, take a few pictures of your day and do a little carousel. Like, there's so many apps and shit like that out here for you to. It don't always, your music could be playing in the background. A beat you made could be in the background. If you're a producer, like, you don't always have to. I mean, I literally was celebrating my son the other day with him being admitted to Hampton University. Put a quick reel up. That's my beat in the background. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm not going to put it out there because that's me celebrating him, and it's not a promotional tool, but you always can find interesting ways to do it. And funny thing is, like, 2 people was like, yo, what beat is that? That's what they saw. So you just never know how that shit is gonna work out for you. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So always find a day to do. If you don't follow LaRussell, 2 gems that I got from him was just, yo, pick a day. If you're not a content person, pick a day, do 3 pieces of content or however many pieces of content you want to post. Start with 3 a week. Then as you get a little bit better and more faster with content, then you could do a bunch of different things. And that's kind of been my goal is just like do that, shoot videos, post a beat, things that I think is hard, you know what I mean? And just put it out there, you know what I'm saying? A few angles switch up. I ain't doing all the theatrics, but you gonna hear the beat. And if you want it, we can work it out. I'll put it on the website. You can go buy it. That it's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? We do hand to hand here. You know what I mean? If you like it, it goes on the website. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it. So good topic, man. So the next one up that I got, man, and this is one that we always joke about where people have the announcement before the announcement type of shit. And it's like, I'm gonna try something new this next time. Y'all watch out. And we joke about it, but the question is, and this is from somebody that listens, long-time listeners, like, should an artist develop a sound and stay, cultivating that sound before they branch out? What are your thoughts on that? And from a producer standpoint?
From a producer standpoint,
and fan standpoint.
For sure. Like, for instance, when I first got back into the game in 2020, the first artist that was known that I worked with was Numbs. I went into Numbs' world, because he had the bigger name. I didn't have a name at the time, so I was like, let me show him what I could do. So I went into his world. It was very soulful and things like that. And then it did pretty well. The first album we did, Legacy Loading, did pretty well. I showed him what I could do, and after it did well, I was like, okay. And then we developed a friendship and everything during that. I was like, why don't you let me take the reins? Let me show you what I could do. So I was like, okay, now that I show him I can do it, let me show him how I get down. So I brought him over to my world, and it was, what I'm saying, and, as you can see, you can hear it now. He got more of like I put some cayenne pepper.
Some bite, some bite. Yeah.
Yeah, I put some griminess to it because, like I said, me coming from East Chicago and Gary, I brought that griminess to the soul, So Numbs, I done turned him up a little bit. And even with everybody else I work with, like with you, with the Lost of Step, I bring that aggressiveness to the soul samples, because I'm not from the East Coast, so I grew up listening to them. But where I come from, it was straight up people rapping about gang life and things like that. So I just kind of put that together, listening to people growing up around the streets that I know and things like that. But I also listened to Wu-Tang The Swarm. I had that. I went and bought Vinny Vetti Vici and Helter Skelter and Busta Rhymes Anarchy. But I was also listening to local guys like, I listened to Psychodrama, Twister, Do or Die, Infamous Syndicate, and people like that. So I put the Chicago sound, the boom bap, and kind of blended it and made my Furious Stylez sound. So,
for example, so we'll use Numbs as a case study here, right? So he kind of drops, which we know him for the sound that he has. He produces as well. The Numbs is also a rapper as well. For those of you that don't know the person we're talking about, so and we'll take him or anybody else. Like, they have a sound, whether you like it or love it. More, people follow them, people listen to their music, people are engaged as far as supporters go. But he goes left and he makes a trap album. The best I can compare it to is just the most recent drop that we had a discussion about, West Side Gun, where it was just kind of all over the place. And what we knew him for, he was trying something different. So there's been times where it's worked for certain artists, you know what I mean? But how would you go about that? I have my thoughts on how would you go about it, but how would you go about that, taking that leap?
I think that, like you said before, like the announcement and all that, I think, because he was talking about it, West Side Gun was talking about it too beforehand. He was like, I'm doing something different and things like, and that's dope to do different things. Because, I kind of like, we know with the basements, I do different sounds as well. I could do the Chicago style, then I could do the East Coast style and things like that too. I feel like if it, try to infuse the two, if you're gonna do the soul samples or what you're known for, the Grammy boom bap, if you want to add the 808s into that, just to kind of ease people into it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just, and then maybe the next album, it'll be full on, whatever. But I wouldn't just come out just like you'll have the normal sound. Then track 3 is something you got some with a producer that people have never heard you with. You know, that sound people are familiar. I feel like if you kind of like found somebody like somebody like a Hit Boy, he kind of knows how to infuse the sounds. You know, he can, because he works with Benny and then he'll work with this guy. So he kind of knows how to kind of, and works when working with Nas, of course, everybody knows. So he kind of know how to put it together as where he kind of ease you into it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good example as far as Hit Boy goes, because I remember hearing an interview to where he was like saying Kanye stripped out a whole lot of sounds out of Niggas in Paris, and Niggas in Paris is what it is today based on the less is more.
Oh yeah, it's a real basic beat, but it's super dope.
Right, and then with that is just like Hit Boy don't bring. I would say when he's working with a different artist, like I'll bring Cash Flow as a producer to it, but like it really dictates on what the artist wants from me and what I do best. If that's a good match, and I may toss some other shit on here like, hey, yo, try this, man. People been hearing you on this, but I think if you try this, you know what I'm saying, switch it up a little bit. But that's it, you know what I mean? I won't try to full on go to the left because I said, you got to ease people into that new sound that you're going for, and it can't be abrupt. And if it is abrupt, I use this example all the time, that 808s and Heartbreak was an abrupt term for
man. I bought that too.
Were you disappointed initially after what you got from him prior to, and this being a Midwest guy?
Graduation was before that.
Yeah,
I was like, it definitely intrigued me because I remember when he before it came out, he performed Love Lockdown on something. I don't know if it was MTV, some kind of award show or something. I heard that I'm in love with you. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah. It was like, what's this? You know what I mean?
But it intrigued me. I was like, I want to hear this because he was at the time he was still popping like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to hear this. So, I was like, it's not what I'm used to, but it made me, it caught my attention. And, and it worked. The album did
shit was
amazing.
dope. Now, that's the other factor. That's the other factor we got to bring in.
Mm-hmm. It was cool.
Sometimes,
I bought that.
Sometimes the shit is just dope. And you can go left, but you better be 1,000% behind whatever, how you going.
You gotta be able to sell it, man. You gotta be able to sell it. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's to the era now where you gotta sell it and don't diss people in the process. You know what I'm saying? Man, y'all this and y'all that. No, man.
Y'all not seeing the vision, this, that, and the third. You did this.
You came with the curveball. So you gotta be ready to take whatever criticism. And now and the 808s era wasn't all this social media where people wouldn't be able to comment back. So he dropped it at a perfect time. You know what I'm saying? You on something now where you know what I'm saying? Like with and then you pray for me. When you get right on social media, everybody has a platform to review your stuff now. It wasn't no platforms back then when people was doing. You had to read into it. Everybody could give a comment. They can do it. So they listen to it right now. They can record right now. They could play it and record and give you a review while they're listening to it. It's way different now.
And I don't mind the people that do the immediate reactions and shit like that. I personally feel like an immediate reaction, and I've done reactions on this podcast. Some, most of them are several days after stuff comes out because I like to absorb music before I speak on it and give a critical analysis. And if somebody got a problem with that, then cool. I know I took the time to listen and I can explain where I'm coming from. As long as I don't trash it and be disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? But there are times to where those initial thoughts are valued because it's how a person feels. If people could say this is an instant classic, right? If they could say that, then they could say that shit is trash too. And you got to be able, if a person off one listen could say that about an album, in the consensus, is this album, this is an instant classic. Like niggas knew when Good Kid, Mad City came out. You felt it.
Yeah, it was different. It was crazy.
It was different. And, I just bring that one up. I won't say that Forest Hills Drive-By. Cole is a classic. Some people feel that's his best work. But it's very close. It's a 4.5 Mike album. But you felt the feeling. Everything about that album. Him buying the house. His home house in Fayetteville. And and bringing people through to listen to the project and just kind of the unique ways that he continues to find ways to roll albums out, you know, back into our first topic with LaRussell. You know what I'm saying? But it's you know, my whole point is with that is you know, developing a sound is dope, but sometimes you know what dope is regardless of how you switching it up. And you know, and you got to believe in it, because I'll give you one more Kendrick reference before you come in with your point. The To Pimp a Butterfly, that album was not heavily, you know, well received. Like, people like, what's all this Black Power shit?
Very different.
You know, it was very different, but
very different.
You go back and listen to that shit now, man, that shit funky. It's dope as hell. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes shit just needs time to marinate, and it ain't for everybody right away.
And see, I remember, I don't know if a lot of people remember, I got the mixtape that is named what it was really supposed to be. I had it on one of my old phones. I had To Pimp a Caterpillar. That's the original name, because it was supposed to be acronym for Tupac. But some journalists heard To Pimp a Caterpillar. They was like, oh, that's Tupac. They figured it out before it dropped. So he changed the name. So I actually had, I don't know, somebody from some DJ or something had To Pimp a Caterpillar. I had that before I graduated college. So it was like 2015, 2014 or something like that. I had it, you know, and it was nasty. It was more aggressive than To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay.
So, but like you were saying, like when you, anytime, even if you keep with the same sound that people know you for, every time you put something out, you're always taking a chance.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's sound or conceptual pieces, you know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I want to do a conceptual piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do something that that challenges me, that could stand the test of time. You know what I mean? But that's a difficult decision, because you got to be all in, and got to almost be like one of these method actors, to where, like, if I'm playing Malcolm X, like, I got to lean into that role. I got to find out everything, you know. And it's almost the same with a conceptual album. You got to see it through, and you know, and Kendrick has dropped very, you know, he's a good case study. He's dropped a lot of different albums. His most recent one, I've gone back to it because, you know, I enjoy some of the topics on there, but it is heavy subject matter, and that's not what I'm trying to listen to on the day. Yeah, Mr. Morale. So, you know, but dope is dope. So I say, trust your sound. My personal advice for any artist out there is ease your way into it. But if you don't want to ease your way into it, lean in 150%.
And let me piggyback off there too. What you said, something about the announcement for the announcement. If you're gonna drop some shit, quick leave the damn disclaimers away, like,
right? Because that's you opening up the door to be. Oh, go ahead. Because, you got it.
Yeah, because to me, if you when you were making this, when you were making whatever you're making, you was confident about it. Don't, right before it come out, don't come with the, all right, y'all, letting y'all know wooty woo. No, damn that. You didn't feel that way when you was making it. So drop it, man. Like, you know, and it's always people, don't get scared now. You know what I'm saying? You was making it, you was confident. Keep that same confidence. And that's how you sell it. Keep that same confidence.
And there's fly ways to go about it too. There's different ways to go about it. It's different when I read something in text as opposed to telling my fans. Like, some of you niggas got to get out of your comfort zone. And if you are the artist, you got to get in front of it. You know what I'm saying? And just, yo, I'm switching up the sound. Yo, this shit is, like, sometimes you got to be a salesman. You got to be on your Fat Joe shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on your Khaled shit. But when you sell it with your confidence, oh, now I'm excited about your Valentine's Day album. You know, and I'm on here singing. The shit sounds phenomenal. Like, whatever you do, you need to do. It's almost like WWE. You got WWE this shit.
Like I said, like I told you, when people found out I make beats, but I'm selling myself every day. I'm selling me as a person. Like, you know, I'm a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm down to earth. You could talk to me. Oh, and I make beats. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm pretty good at making beats. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. You know, but you gotta sell that shit, man. Like, I got a song with Cash Flow. I got a song with I Am God. I got a song with Numbs. I got you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop. I got tracks on my guys from Chicago. You gotta sell it. Like, you know, I'm in the boom bap world, but I'm like, you know what? I wasn't scared to, hey, look, man, check out this Chicago song. I could do this too, y'all. Whoop. I don't care. You know what I'm selling it because I tell people all the time before I start making boom bap, I was making those twister type beats. You know what I'm saying? That's what I come from. That's how I originated being a producer, making those twister do or die type beats. That's where we come from. So I would never stray away from that. That's my original sound. I can still make it to this day. I made it when they dropped in Christmas Day. I got 3 tracks on there. You know what I'm saying? That EP, they came out of the basement in 2022. You know what I'm saying? And I did it again. I did it because that's will always be a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? I bumping Twister early. You know what I'm saying? You got to sell that, man, regardless. I know people know me for making the boom bap, but like, nah, man, I could do this too. Listen to this. I wouldn't be like, man, y'all should let me know what y'all think. No, don't let me know. No, listen to this. Check it out.
Right. And after it drops, then you can do that. Let me know what y'all think. I need the feedback. I think I Am God is an artist that he dropped the same day I dropped my EP.
He's super dope, man.
Super dope. Him and
Chicago,
Clipto
you know
is really it's a really dope album. But you know, like he'll promote something, I'll promote. You know what I mean? Like that's I'm looking at all these people that drop projects and some of the people that do it that's within our boom bap, and I follow people that don't rap nothing like I rap, that do great visuals, and I follow videographers. Like, yo, always be a student of the game. Like, if you're doing this shit independent wise, and you got this thing right here, you good. There's a bunch of different things you can do with that, and if you want to upgrade and get different camp and do all that shit, you could do that too. But my thing is like, you gotta sell it, man. You gotta. If you don't sell it with the Muhammad Ali and all the beating your chest, sell it with what you doing. Sell it by showing people shit. You know what I'm saying? Videos, interviews. You know what I mean? Reach out to people when you're not in rollout mode.
Yeah. For instance, I'm from the Midwest. Dude. So I had to sell myself. Because I'm going over to the East Coast presenting my sound to guys from Harlem, Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying, the Bronx.
That's been around it, that got people, that know people already, Yeah.
I'm going over there, so I'm like, I'm a East Chicago dude making your type of beat. So I gotta sell myself, so now people know what I can do because, it's been a couple years now, but initially, like, who was Furious Stylez? He from where? East Chicago. Can he make what I make? You know what I'm saying? Can he make what I do? Can he? I had to prove myself because I'm not from a borough, and I didn't come from that. So I had to show people what I could do. And I tell people every day, you may not hear it all the time. You may not notice it, but I always put a splash in Midwest and whoever I work with, whether it be some fast hi-hats or, like I said, the knock with the drums. I don't do drumless beats all the time. If somebody asked me, I would do it. But where I come from,
yeah.
Trunk is rattling. You know what I'm saying? You got 6x9s in the door. I come where people got knock in the car. So I'm always making sure them drums is hitting because that's how I grew up. So I'm gonna have them soul
same.
samples.
I'm a fan of drums. The Binks, the Knots of the world. You would throw Ye in there. Ninth Wonder, like. Certain people are known for their signature ski. Like certain people with Dre are known for that, and that's what I grew up on. I didn't grow up on a drumless or minimal drums. Cause
the biggest producer I listened to growing up, because in my era was RZA. He was the originator of the drumless. Of course, Rock Marciano too, but RZA to me originated. He started the drumless beats from my understanding. He was the first guy I really noticed I was doing that, Rock Marcy as well. But RZA was the first one when I could go back, I could hear him doing something it wasn't no drums to, and it was nasty. And
there's an art to that. There's an art to that too, because you got it that you can't be saved by the drums now. Because if your drums is hit, you got to be very critical in your sound selection when you're doing that. So that's why I don't knock the drumless shit. Now. If we all together and we talking shit and joking, then we can get unhinged about that whole topic because it's fun to have that conversation. But you know what I mean? Like if some of them guys that do minimalistic production in terms of the drums are very low, it's in there. It's not drumless. It's very low. Or sometimes they're not in there at all. They can do this drum shit. They just choose not to.
Yeah,
You know what
shout
I'm
out to
saying?
like I said, RZA, Mark Marcy, Nicholas Craven, the guys that do that for sure. You know, but like you said, I grew up listening to Dr. Dre, the early Timberland. Like when I put up a post about tour, like, would you like better? Because Timberland had those drums like with Aaliyah and things like that, and he was doing Timberland Magoo.
The fan in me in the aspiring producer. You know what I mean? I could say that officially now that I have something out. But the aspiring producer and fan in me always kind of be like, when that debate, that conversation always comes up, it's always when it's one person on either side of the coin that's being very egotistical when they ain't that guy. That's when I be like, come on, fam. Like, you're not even okay. You got placements with people and it's cool, but it's not like these beats are the best beats I've ever heard in my life. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's like the artist that you're working with is very fucking skilled at rapping, so that's why we like it. You know what I mean? And not necessarily the sound selection you chose. Like you getting a little bit too beside yourself. But other than that, man, I don't give a shit either way, man. But Furious, man, I've had you for long enough, man. I appreciate you coming through, man, and chopping it up with me on these topics, man. Let the people know what you got out right now. I know you just dropped a project, a basement series on the 13th. So let them know who you dropped that with and just kind of anything that you got coming up in the future.
Yes, I just dropped my 13th basement with Furious Records, which is Sage Walker and Cameron Galloway. They're on the same label. They're on label together. I just dropped it with them. Actually got 2 separate basements with them as well. So it was time for the crew to come together. I'm actually currently right now crafting me and Num's 4th album. Got the 8th beat just sent to him. I don't even know when I'm gonna stop making beats until he just says enough. So he currently has 8. And I got something pretty big coming up too. You know, I'm gonna have to come back. We're gonna talk about that. Yeah, it's something coming up. I'm excited about it. It's pretty dope, man. You know, just putting in work, you know, trying things differently in 2024. So things are starting to look very bright. So yeah, definitely, man. You know, but I'm always working. Basement is always open. I got another project coming up with K.R.I.T. I think that's coming out in March, I believe. That's done as well. So man, yeah, I'm always working, man. You know, and I got me some new equipment now. You know, I got me a keyboard for Valentine's. You know, so I'm gonna put.
You gonna do the videos. You gonna get in there with the air.
For sure, man. Yeah, I'm on my Scott storage now, man. I got an MPC and I got the MPK 225. You know, I learned how to work it day one. You know, so I was making beats as soon as I got it. You know, I'm just like do.
I got that shit, and this is what I do. I one finger it. It's just I just one finger it and get my chords going and
don't. I actually took piano lessons when I was a kid for a little bit, but it was on a Saturday. I told Mama, fuck this. I wanted to enjoy my Saturday. I wanted to be hooping outside. But I took piano lessons for a little while. You know, I had to go for like an hour or two. So I kind of remember, you know, so I played the keys for a little bit.
Yeah, I got a little, you know, I follow a little YouTube and a little chord progression here and there. You know what I'm saying? I just getting the basic melody going. That's all I need. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Add some sounds in there, you know, but I prefer chopping samples, whether I'm finding, you know, samples from old school records or a ton of talented guys out there that do this for a living and make that shit. So I like to support the community and sometimes it's dope shit. So I'll leave y'all with this and hopefully this, you know, inspires other people. I had a recent experience where I was just getting a haircut, not a haircut, yeah, I'm bald. But getting you know, sorry, man, guys, it only been like a year or two, you know, since I fully committed. You know, I'm still, you know, old habits die hard. But what I'll say is, yo, speak on what you do. We were talking about wearing your merch earlier. Talk about what you do. Be empower that inner you that wants to be known as far as what you do. And I'll just give you guys a quick story, you know, before I wrap up. I'm at the barbershop with my son and getting trimmed up myself as far as my beard. And then, you know, I'm talking to my barber. And I always joke with him like, yo, you do everything. Yo, what, you know what I'm saying? You remind me of myself where you got your hand in a lot of different things. You're good at a lot there. He coaches, has a boxing gym. That boxing gym turns into a wrestling, like an independent wrestling spot at nighttime on Saturdays. He coaches kids in basketball, football, serves hot plates. Like, yo, you name it. He's a pit bull connoisseur. Like, he has a bunch of pits out there and he takes care of people's pits. Well, you know, why they go, it's like a lot of different things this dude does, right? But you know, he wanted me to interview him and just to kind of talk about and put some publicity out there for his boxing gym and future events. And I was like, yo, absolutely. Like I wanted to get into the community, you know, when I got settled. So, and he was like, and I was like, I was playing something. He was like, oh, that's you? I was like, yeah, that's me. He was like, you rap? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm in a band. You know what I mean? I'm like, motherfucker. You know, I've been looking for a band. So he starts playing me stuff. And then he was like, yeah, we could play that. We could play that. We could play that. And I'm like, oh yeah, yo, we could turn this whole, he said, we'll put the thing up and we could turn this whole gym into like a little performance. You come here, film it. And, you know, we do some practice for a couple of weeks. You know, just let me know if you want to do it. And he was like, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I've been wanting. That's exactly what I've been wanting because, you know, I ain't got no shows. I'm not about that. I don't want to do open mics. I'm older now. You know what I'm saying? I want to curate something that sets myself apart from my peers. You know what I mean? Like ain't too many independent artists funding their own tiny desk in a way that I see. So that's something that happened recently, and hopefully that comes to fruition and we work together. And I'm pretty sure it will come to fruition. But all I say is independent artists, like, be proud of your work, be proud of what you do, but open your mouth and let whoever wants to hear about what you do know that you do it, because you never know, man, when you could just run into your blessing in your next move that may make you kind of get more supporters. So that's my story for the end of the episode, man. So I go by Cash Flow. That's my man Furious Stylez. We will be back next week with a different artist, different guests, talking producers, engineers. I don't know. I haven't lined it up, but y'all stay tuned. Check us out every Tuesday. Drop at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we out.
Found my passion again, one with the pen. Made my way back home, careers don't actually blend. Built myself from the ground up, sacrificed my peak years. Did it for the love, but love from y'all is quite weird. No shit would be crazy, open arms and fanfare. All I got is the promises and blank stares.